From PlebLab in Austin, Texas, this is Stacker News Live!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Stacker News Live. My name's Car with my BFF, Keyan.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
How you doing?
We were just talking about Kim Kardashian.
We were.
So we use this software, Stackers, that they call in, and Keyan's thing is like KK. So every time I see it, it's like, I always think like, oh, it's Kim Kardashian calling me. Anyway, we started getting into a whole conversation about like vampire blood and stuff like that because, I don't know, it was just really weird. But
yeah, we're talking about that Peter. He calls it vampire blood, but it's really that reasonable thing that Peter Thiel does, where he takes the blood of young children and puts it in his own veins.
That's creepy, dude.
It's creepy.
Do you think he really does that? You think?
I mean, I remember around the time I was really interested in this because I was really into like all this kind of stuff and like the health and wellness stuff. But I remember he funded the company. And then there were rumors that he was using the company, and then he told people he wasn't later. But there's no reason he's not legally obligated to tell you he uses the company as a customer or a client. Gosh. So I would guess that he is. I mean, the science was pretty good, was pretty solid on it, was my understanding. Like they made old mice young by just, taking a little blood.
So you're saying that it probably works, right?
Yeah. There are things in the blood of young people. I don't think we're exactly certain what they are, but they somehow lead to more youthful operation of your entire body when circulated in your own veins.
I don't want to believe in this craziness. A fun fact, I got a fun fact on Peter Thiel. He funded EOS. You remember that crap token? That's how
right.
Yeah, that's how he got a bulk of his Bitcoin stack was from that crap coin.
How would that help his Bitcoin stack? Did they
remember? Because they locked it up at that time. So this is like in 2017 Stackers. They locked up this token and he like backed it. And I think it was Larimore, Dan Larimore. He was the guy behind it. And yeah, dude, I don't even know if that thing's still around, but it was a total shitcoin.
I mean, I remember it was like, this is going to take on Ethereum. You guys wait.
Dude, yeah, it was like completely a scam. Yeah. But he got a lot of Bitcoin from that. It was called Block One. That was the name of it.
Oh, I see. He made even more.
The only reason I know is because I used to do all the research and stuff on this stuff. Cool. Yeah. With that, let's get into the top 5 stories of the week on Stacker News Live. If you don't know, this is your first time we cover the top 5 stories of the week. We check the top 5 stories of the week around 4 o'clock. And then we just go through them one by one. I never read them. Sometimes I do. Keyan does all the reading. And
I'm a reader.
And yeah, that's how we do it. So cool. These are the top 5 stories the Stackers voted on this week. Cool. Let's jump into it.
Huzzah.
So, the first top story is the mysterious life and death of
look at this guy.
Mercedes Popescu.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I've never said his name.
I feel bad.
I've never said his name aloud.
Well, there you go.
It's
Mercedes. That sounds about right.
Popescu.
Maybe the P is silent. Popescu. Popescu.
Oh, that's pretty good. Maybe it's French.
Probably in French.
Yeah,
this is from Siggy47, July 6th posts on Bitcoin. 24 comments, 16,300 sats. Wow, that's crazy.
This was a lot of fun to read. If I do recommend you read it. If haven't read about Mercedes before, I'd recommend it too. He's just a really interesting character. Very entertaining in his presentation online. I'm not exactly sure he's a good guy, but I think it's somewhat ambiguous. But still, he's very, very entertaining. Very much so who he is. Anyway, Siggy did a bunch of research on Mercedes, which I hadn't even seen in a publication, like on like a news site. Right. Someone who's paid in the normal economy to do this, I don't feel like has done a better job that I've seen of covering Mercedes. He was able to dig up things like his past education, like pre-Bitcoin stuff. Like what are his pre-Bitcoin origins? And, it seemed like most of the articles I had read had mostly done a very cursory overview of his blog.
Wow.
But apparently he'd been writing a blog and it was like largely like stream of consciousness journalists or journaling type blogging and, filled with all kinds of profanities and what did Siggy say are hateful, racist, misogynistic, and anti-Semitic. Yeah, pretty cool. And then there, and then one of the more interesting aspects of Mircea's story is whether he actually died in whether he actually drowned in Costa Rica or not. And so Siggy's trying to figure out whether it's actually true. He's actually getting pretty far. I mean, it's it's unfolding a bit like a Netflix true crime series for me. That's how enjoyable this was to read. And he has a lot of excerpts from Mircea's work where you can kind of see how it's almost like if you have a friend that texts a lot and they do a lot of long texts, it's almost like that's like the style of writing where it's very natural. And it's clearly just like coming right out of his mind, not, but overall really good post. I really liked it a lot. And I hope he figures out, he was thinking of calling the coroner of the hospital that would have received his body and see whether it actually came or not. Like stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Gosh. I loved what Bitcoin USA said. He got 20 sats for this. He said, interesting bookmarking this one. I'm doing the same. Going to be fun to read through this. Through his site, his writing style and the words you quoted above make it sound possibly like an unfiltered audio recording of himself. It's kind of like what you described.
Yeah.
Love seeing his post. Curious to see if they're all like that. And then Siggy says the one sounds like more like a transcription than some of the other stuff I read. Not sure. Maybe that was a common thing with him. Yes, Siggy's just been kind of writing some really good stuff on Stacker News.
Yeah. Very excellent job. The last time I encountered a Mircea piece was in Jameson Lopp's article on Bitcoin Maximalists. I don't know if you read that one.
Yeah, I love his site.
Yeah, Jameson Lopp has it's probably one of my favorite people in Bitcoin in terms of like the writing and work that he does.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But he wrote about Mircea in the context of Bitcoin Maximalists, and I think more or less attributed Mircea in creating toxic Bitcoin maximalists.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my first time hearing about the guy. I never.
Really? You didn't follow the story? It was like a year or two ago where he was reported to have drowned?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know what else I was looking at, but there's something to be said. That's why I feel like more Bitcoiners should definitely start a blog. It's cool to look back. I've only been doing it for like a year at this point, but it's good to have it for yourself. If anything else, like it's good to look back and see how your thoughts and mine has changed.
How has your thoughts and mine changed?
A lot. A lot.
In what way? Just one thing. Yeah.
Just one thing?
Just one thing.
Oh man, stackers don't want to hear this. But I would say I'm more thoughtful of others than I was probably in the past. It was just very, very arrogant. I still am arrogant, but not to the degree I was before when I started writing.
Cool. That's great. That's a great change. Yeah.
Bear market humbles you.
Yeah, man. That's a great change.
Do you write?
I write on Stacker News. I write the newsletter, but yeah, I don't write enough. I used to journal, but I mean, I started journaling. I was doing it for like 6 weeks and then I bailed.
I would love to read your stuff. I read your newsletter every week.
I enjoy the feeling I have after I write something, but writing is hard. So
it gets easier with time. It does. And it's really just a puzzle.
Yep.
That's what I've kind of realized.
Yeah.
It's just a puzzle.
Yeah.
Paul's another great writer too.
Paul explained, or the way he described writing to me was that it's clear thinking. And I thought that's I think why it's so hard is because clear thinking.
It challenges your own beliefs too. Cause then you have to sit there and leave it like on the internet forever. And you're like, do I really want to say this? At least that's what I'm battle with. The next top story is, hi, I'm Cody, head of developer and product support at Fetty. Ask me anything.
No, it's not. Super barging in.
Wow.
Okay. We're on the second story.
Well,
I'm not letting you steal this from me. I was number 2 this week.
What?
I was number 2 this week, and then he changed the algorithm yesterday.
This is what the stackers are voting on. We can't just.
He changed it. I wasn't. True or false? I was number 2 yesterday, and now I'm number 4.
you were number 2 yesterday. I'm not sure You drop it in the ranking as a result of the algorithm.
I absolutely did. We're gonna talk about the thing I made this week, and then you can go back to Cody.
Okay, that's fine. This isn't exactly kayfabe, but it's
sorry,
kayfabe.
Stackers. This is how Super Testnet.
Hi, everybody. Super's barging in.
This is how Super Testnet runs things at the lab. He just it does stuff like this. So hang on. So the third top story of the week is BitPack publicly audible cooperatives, or the fourth top story. BitPack.
He dropped the line.
Let me finish the sentence.
Okay.
BitPack publicly audible cooperatives on Bitcoin. This is from Super Testnet, July 3rd. Post on Bitcoin. 26 comments, 13,000 sats. Super. Why did you barge in and tell us what is so important about BitPack?
It's pretty cool. It's a way for I've got two microphones. It's a way for people to create a group of people and a multi-signature address that's controlled by all those people. And then if you put any money in that address, everybody gets to vote on how to spend it. You get to create little proposals and be like, hey, I want to send the money here, or I want to send half of the money there, or whatever. And then everyone gets to vote on what to do. So that's pretty neat. You can vote on how to spend some money.
Cool.
That's cool. Yesterday there was two gentlemen that were asking about BitPack, and they seemed very intrigued by it. Did you expect that? Like normal people understanding this? I know I didn't when you explained it to me.
Yeah, I think it's something that a lot of people are interested in. It reminds me of clubs. I've been in a bunch of clubs where, not a bunch. I've been in one club where there was a treasurer. And like one of the things we would do at our monthly meetings was decide how to spend the money in the treasury. And it was like, we would vote on it, and I think a lot of people have that experience. And just emulating that on Bitcoin is kind of intuitive. I think it's something people really want to exist.
So right there in the video for the snaggers listening at home, but Super's kind of, he has a video on YouTube. Definitely check out the link, but it kind of shows you exactly how to use a BitPack.
Do you want a chair?
Nah.
Like how to use a BitPack, all that kind of stuff. But Super, are you adding any more things? What do you think after feedback you got this week? What do you think you'll fix, or if you'll fix anything?
Yeah, I'm adding some new features. A gentleman, one of the things, I'm using Nostr to store a bunch of data, and sometimes the connection to Nostr is not always that reliable. So one person made a BitPack, but he didn't have a connection to any relays. So his BitPack didn't actually get stored anywhere, and then he couldn't load it. So I got to make sure that that's fixed. I also want to add support for Cashew.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because you can send Cashew eCash to a Bitcoin address. So I want to make it so that you can send it to a BitPack and then vote on that. I'm in discussion with Callie about whether that's possible or not. So, but that would basically give me Lightning support for this, and that would be really cool too.
Wow, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks, Super, for dropping by barging into Stacker News Live.
You're welcome.
And getting your story.
We're done. That's all we get.
That's one. I mean, I don't know. What do you got, Keyan?
Well,
You don't want to talk about the statements?
I was mostly curious, so you said the motivation was that your involvement in a club of some kind, and I guess you had money to spend to allocate, and you wanted a more controlled way to do it. Is that how you expect this to be used? Do you have like a particular use case and like a very specific use case in mind, other than, that's maybe more specific than a club?
No, that's kind of how I expect it to be used. I think people could manage membership dues for a club with this. It could be like, hey, everyone's got to contribute $10 a month to be in our club. Oh. And then if you don't contribute for 3 months, then they vote to kick you out or something like that.
Cool.
That would be kind of neat. Well, actually, another motivation for it was Sushi Swap. Have you ever heard of Sushi Swap?
I have.
It's this Ethereum smart contract thing, but it's the stupidest thing ever. They got in legal trouble for having like an exchange with where they were selling unregistered securities, and the SEC sued them, and then they voted to take a bunch of money from their users and use it to hire lawyers to defend themselves. $3 million.
Well, fun fact, right? There is Uniswap, in which Sushi Swap copied, but the difference between Uniswap and Sushi Swap is Uniswap has a WEF lawyer on their staff. So that's the big difference there.
Probably, yeah. But anyway, they got sued by the SEC, and then they voted to take a bunch of money and use it to defend themselves. And I was like, this whole thing is ridiculous. But I liked the voting part. I was like, the idea of having the people who actually contributed money to to the Sushi Swap thing were the actual voters who said, yeah, you can use this to hire lawyers. And I was like, that part's cool. Like the idea that you can contribute funds to a thing and then vote on how someone else spends it. I like that. I think that's neat. So I made that because I was like, I want to do that too.
It occurs to me this might be useful in a community co-working space where everyone pays their dues into a bit pack every month, and they choose to spend it on rent. They choose to spend it on food together.
That's not a bad idea.
And that would perhaps allow the group to feel a little more autonomous than they might otherwise. So maybe a little more leaderless.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just an idea. That's what kind of what I like about the idea is it sounds like it's very flexible and can be used for a variety of things.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
You can also do this thing called statements. So so when you create a bit pack, you have to define a threshold. Like, let's say you have 10 people in your bit pack. Your threshold might be 6, where any vote to spend some money has to be approved by 6 of the key holders. But you can do the same thing with statements. So instead of spending money, you might just release a statement that says, like, I don't know, we support Julian Assange or something like that. And that goes through the same voting process as monetary expenditures, such that it only becomes an official statement of your group if 6 out of 10 people approve it or whatever your threshold is. So I think that's kind of a cool new thing that I don't think anyone's done that before, is make it so you're not only voting on how to spend money, but also to make official group statements. I think that's kind of neat.
You even had Brad Mills in the comments here. He said, this is very cool. What made you want to build this? So there you go, Super.
There we go.
You're attracting a lot of attention.
Thanks, guys. Super is barging out.
All right. See you later, dude.
Thank you, Super. All right.
Wow. That's a first ever.
Well. All right. What do we got now?
So back to the second top story.
The real second top story.
This is the real second top story. Sorry, stackers at home.
They enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. This is, hi, I'm Cody, head of developer and product support at Fetty. Ask me anything. 14,900 sats, 37 comments from Cody Law. This is July 6th, a Bitcoin post. What happened here, Keyan?
Yeah. Well, Cody came on to do an AMA, and it was pretty awesome. We've had an AMA with, I think, Justin Moon before. And we discussed Fetty then some, but Fetty's come quite a ways. I think that last AMA was maybe 6 months ago. And so Fetty's been under heavy development. They have quite a team, quite a talented team over there. And so they've been, continuing to build, and it's interesting to hear what's going on. But Cody Lowe is really an interesting person too. He's only been programming for 2.5 years, but he's still, from what I understand, he's still a very competent and impressive addition. And I also, if you read through his comments, you can kind of tell his enthusiasm and mission-driven attitude are very strong. And that's probably what lends him to be so good at programming in such a short period of time. But yeah, just an AMA, lots of interesting questions. Did any questions stand out for you?
Yeah, I think what Ezekiel said was really insightful here. Where was it at?
Chicken Hawk. It's kind of high. It's kind of towards the top, a big block.
Yeah, he said, he was asking, he goes, so true. I have no military experience, but I would say I am quite fascinated by the military with its strategies, discipline, moral, camaraderie, weapon handling, etc. And after reading Chicken Hawk, and then he just goes into it. He just talks about how his work ethic and the way he carries himself, attributes to him being a prolific programmer. So I thought that was really interesting. The other one was the Tony Giorgio one. Tony went right for it. He goes, where was it at? And I love how Cody came back. Where is it at? Yeah, do you see it, Keyan, anywhere?
Yeah, it's near the top.
Oh, yeah. So Tony Giorgio says, how is this AI phase not a complete distraction for Lightning companies except to increase valuations, ? Why should people care about building Lightning for robots when there's still much needed work for humans to truly take advantage of it? How is 402 payment required for heavy computational tasks, not actually a LARP, when credit-based API keys work just fine? Cody came back and he said, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, building out great Lightning tooling for both humans and machine-to-machine payments. They're not mutually exclusive. I think it's also an opportunity to get Bitcoin foot in the door of a bunch of companies, people who otherwise wouldn't be interested, but are currently facing monetization problems that Bitcoin uniquely solves. He discusses credit-based API keys don't work for a couple of reasons. Big ones being chargebacks, requiring you to maintain a persistent identity for the user instead of just being able to give them the service and a receipt for money. And then Tony responds, or there's some more. And then Tony responds back, I hear that, but using Bitcoin Lightning and credit-based API keys is not mutually exclusive. It would save time and money. Also, every single company trying to add AI into their product is the problem. And it is no wonder they can't figure out how to monetize the latest hype train. They have no business. So really, really, definitely that to me like stood out, obviously, because you have two very prolific developers going back at it. What do you think? What do you think about all that kind of stuff, Keyan?
I think Tony raises an interesting point. Like, isn't what we have sufficient for what you're trying to solve with Bitcoin and Lightning? I'd guess it isn't. I'd guess there are cases where 402 payment required is uniquely suited for it. And there are probably many cases where it isn't. But I think it's just too early to tell. Yeah. Tony and I were having a conversation about 402 earlier today, and Tony was like, basically called it a chicken and egg problem, and that's why we'll never get it, or that's why it hasn't appeared yet. And I generally agree. I still think there's likely something to it, likely going to be use cases that it solves uniquely and in a much more efficient way than you would without it. But it remains to be seen. So it's all speculative, and
I don't know. I just can't help but see it from like maybe a very pleb perspective. And so I'll share that right now, and then you can tell me if that makes sense or not.
I'll smack it down if it's
this is just kind of what I've been thinking about and talking about, to the plebs and to other people. Mm-hmm. I kind of see it where there's just right now, I mean, when I think of AI, I think of ChatGPT for obvious reasons. Even that, it's great. It's a great tool. But even that, there's just so much friction there. And for a lot of reasons, I think that'll get better. But I really don't see AI actually being used in like a real world scenario in the near future for whatever reason. I think the only thing that interests me about AI is the potential of machine to machine kind of payments happening. So like, let's kind of, what I'm kind of picturing is I walk home, or I walk through the door of my home. I've already, told the AI on my phone to start the microwave or start the oven, and then to me, it just starts feeling more of like the IoT kind of devices all over again. So it's just like, we didn't need payments or AI for that a long time ago. And then I was talking to somebody, I forget who it was, but they were explaining, Car, it's very possible we'll each have our own AI and it'll just be customized to us. So that's where my kind of thoughts go with it all. It's kind of like, it's still so early, and it feels definitely forced right now. So I don't know if that's the right approach, or at least that's my thoughts on it right now.
I mean, I don't know about forced. I think we definitely are like oversteering into AI a little bit, overhyped. I mean, in all technological trends, you tend to find a lot of magical thinking. This thing that we have that sort of works for this one thing, it's going to solve all of humanity's problems. It's a utopia. You're never going to need XYZ. You're never going to need a doctor again because AI is going to scan your body and it's going to cure you or whatever. Or
give you vampire blood.
It's going to give you blood. Yeah. It's going to manufacture blood from children, inject it into you. You're not going to be liable. We'll do it anonymously. Okay. With Bitcoin. But it's really, I think it is probably just overhyped.
Yeah, definitely.
And people have too much money and too little time. We were talking earlier today about someone we know who noticed that home prices are up everywhere, and that is like, and I think that the same is hype is everywhere. There's like, it's a very similar thing. People in the upper echelons of society, I think, have a little too much money. And so there's just a lot.
So you think they're just saying like, they're just putting dollars and
everywhere. They're just
things.
like, where does this go now? I have all this stuff. It's like, if you're holding too many things in your hand, you just begin throwing them everywhere.
Fiat kills everything. So this is,
yeah.
Anyway, great AMA. Definitely check it out. Cody's a real one. I've known the guy for a year at this point. I met him through Nifty and Base 58. Dude, the he's unstoppable. Big believer in Cody.
Yeah, great spirit from what I could tell.
Great spirit, for sure. That's a thing that definitely stands out. Just a really good man. Cool. The next top story is you wake up and Bitcoin is worth $1 million. What do you do? This is from Birdeye21, a Bitcoin post, 99 comments, 11,800 sats. 99 comments?
99 comments, but Bitcoin's price ain't one. Wait, I don't know. Anyway.
Is this a Balaji post? No, it's Birdeye.
No, it's it's a Birdeye. Maybe Birdeye is Balaji.
Yeah, you never know.
Could be. I mean.
So did you read through the comments?
Yeah, I read through some of them. I didn't read through all 99 of them. I think there's a variety of takes that are reoccurring. And so one of them is the doomer. Bitcoin price is $1 million. Oh, things have gone to heck. Yeah. And so
you got the wild hustle. He says, run to El Salvador.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a lot of stuff like that. And then a lot of it, then there's also the submarine is what I call
submarine. What's
the
that?
Submarine. He doesn't even feel it. The price, he's so deeply submerged.
That's right here. F6287B says, stay humble and stack more sats.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter that it happened. Then you have like the what do we? Then you have the rich shining knight. Now I don't have a good catchy name for that one, but it's more like, now that Bitcoin's worth $1 million, I'm going to
diversify.
I'm going to live out my dreams.
Oh, okay.
But my dream is actually to give back to Bitcoin. And so that's like the other take that I saw reoccurring. But those are like the three. Yeah, I need a better name for the last take.
Yeah, no account says, check if 1 million still buys a really nice house in the countryside, or maybe 1 million only buys a used car or a bag of bread.
Yeah, there are some more sober. Then there's like a sober, moderate.
I love what JGBTC says. He says, the time to get guns and ammo is now. If Bitcoin is at 1 million, it might be too late.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't foresee Bitcoin ever getting to $1 million. I'm being completely honest. I think at some point we just move over somewhere between the 500 or maybe even lower.
You mean once it's worth a certain amount of money, fiat does that? We don't even price it in fiat anymore.
Yeah, I don't even think we ever get to it. And maybe that's like not a very right take, but at least that's just what my intuition tells me. It's
I think it's pretty consistent with this point of view, although I think it's hard to tell what they mean by $1 million. Do they mean $1 million in today's purchasing power? Do they mean $1 million in, a greatly devalued dollar? It's not clear.
Yeah, this is a good post. It's crazy. Everybody loves talking about that $1 million question. Yeah.
I don't know. How would you respond, do you think?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think about that. I really don't. I don't know. It would surprise me because it'd be one day you'd wake up and then it would just be like, wait, what? Yeah. I think it would be exuberance first and then reality setting in quickly after. And then stay home and stack sats probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Exuberance. Yeah. I think it's a good, that's what I've been trying to imagine what it'd be like. I think I'd be really excited.
Initially.
Yeah.
Right? Like we all be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
I'd be like, wow.
And then reality, like, oh crap, batten down the hatches. And then just like, no, just stay humble.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what scenarios you described, how it turns to $1 million. But I think I'd mostly be excited. I think I'm mostly doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I am constrained by my finances somewhat in terms of like the luxuries that I allow myself. But as far like the one luxury I have is that I spend my time largely how I want to. So that was surprising. It's maybe it's for a different
day discussion, but when they said, I would go do this, or I would, get into Bitcoin, there was a couple posts I saw on there. It's like, do you already do that? Like, go live your dream.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm living my dream.
Take some shots.
Remember when I first met you, I was like, dude, I wake up every day of my life and I pinch myself because I can't realize. It's like,
I remember.
Remember I used to tell you that all the time?
I do.
I don't say that very often anymore, but it still holds true to me.
Yeah.
And then I guess the fourth one was super, right? So the fourth one was super.
Yeah.
And then, so number 5 is on Bitcoin adoption. This is from Jimmy Song, July 3rd, 24 comments, 4,826 sats. He also cross-posted this on Nostr. Did you read all this?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's pretty good. So it actually dovetails pretty nicely into the last post. And he's kind of describing a divide that he's observed in the Bitcoin community between, like, mostly surrounding the Bitcoin adoption narrative. And he says there's kind of two sides. And one side is that we need to get more Bitcoin adoption and strategizing around Bitcoin adoption. How do we get more Bitcoin adoption? And so Jimmy's point of view is it's largely fiat fueled, largely VC, people who are, hungry for more fiat are mostly the ones that are kind of pushing this point of view that Bitcoin adoption needs to happen at nearly any cost. Is kind of more or less what he's implying. It's like, it's not a healthy desire. And then the other side of it is what he calls the more true Bitcoiner who's really here for Bitcoin and is about Bitcoin's values. And he says that that persona understands that Bitcoin is not going to be widely adopted until people appreciate sound money, and that process, that kind of like de-education that is required to get to the point where you appreciate sound money, is a long journey, and it's hard, and it's likely not. These aren't consistent. These points of view aren't consistent with each other. So like they're mutually exclusive. And so I think it's a really interesting point to make. I think I want more Bitcoin adoption, but I think I also do understand that it's very difficult to convey. I don't think I've probably haven't orange pilled many people at all. I would guess, except outside of people who are already probably vulnerable to it, already fairly convinced of sound money.
Yeah, he was at ABC last night, also Bitcoin Club, and dude, we had like 125 people there. It was like a bull run meetup. So there were a lot of new people, a lot of people I hadn't seen before. There was one. Oh, it's just a side thing.
Yeah.
Kevin, if you're out there, thank you for listening. Kevin, he's a Stacker News live listener. There you go. There you go, Keyan.
What's up, Kevin? Come check out. Come to the lab, dude. Come hang out.
Anyway, so Jimmy was talking about, the book that he's writing about. I guess this is kind of where he's kind of getting some ideas and getting, some more stuff. But he was saying that I forget where I was going with this, but he was saying that when he traveled, he traveled 32 countries, I think, in the past year.
Wow.
And he was saying that what he's come to find is that Bitcoin is just a really great savings vehicle for a lot of people. It's not that there's not a lot of people utilizing Bitcoin or paying with Bitcoin. He's just like, this is not where we're just not there yet. So that was interesting to hear. And what I was going to say just about this, I don't know. I'm more bull, and maybe it's just because I'm speaking my own language here, but I just firmly believe at this point, having seen it happen in Austin, that unless you have a Bitcoin hub in every city, I don't think we ever get to Bitcoin adoption that fast. I think you have to have a hub in every city, in every country, in every state. I think that's the fastest way you get there. And I also think he was talking about VCs and stuff like that. I think there just needs to be funding for things that already exist in the space. I've come to realize that people usually don't like asking, but if you're already doing the things, just support the people that are already building. I would say that's another thing that I see. And I love what Joe Nakamoto said in the comments. He said, "It's great posts. My fear is that a lot of people just don't care that the existing system doesn't serve them. They have accepted their fate." So really great post. Siggy also came in, right after this, and he said Jimmy Song original content post, and he was talking about how Jimmy posted something right before July 4th, and that he's excited. So that was another post. It was like a post on this post. So
it was a post about that post. I think, what was he? Oh, he was, the question he asked in that thread, I don't have it quickly to pull up, but he basically asked, he said, well, because it was dead that night. I think it was like a Friday night, or no, it was like a Sunday night. Maybe
Monday.
Monday.
I think a Monday, yeah.
A Monday night. It was late that night. I remember being on the board when this was posted as well.
Yeah, I saw it right before I went to sleep. I was like, oh, wow, Jimmy posted something.
Yeah, but he was Siggy, who's been writing some of the most, as we just, he's been in the top spot, I think 3 weeks in a row now. Some of the most impressive long form content is like, what are our plans for supporting more long form content? And, it'd be really cool to see more of this type of stuff from Jimmy.
Clearly the stackers like it because they're voting it up.
Yep, definitely.
That's kind of just shows you where people like long form content, man.
Yeah. So we had some back and forth about that. Oh, and back to the Jimmy post. One of the things that Jimmy has said on Nostr is that he is going to buy he's considering purchasing a local, cash flow positive business.
Wow.
And trying to Bitcoinize it. And I think that's really fun. I don't know if many people are aware of that, but I'm personally pretty excited.
Imagine if he had like his own Jimmy's grocery store or something, like kind of like Royal Blue, but it was
why
like,
not?
gosh, that would be amazing.
I mean, it's sort of racist, but Jimmy is Korean, and
he's South Korean.
I know. Yeah. But I mean, we don't get many North Koreans, but like he's Korean, and Koreans do a lot of laundromats and dry cleaners. It's like, just like, I think, what is it? There's a lot of Filipino nurses. There's a whole psychological literature on why cultures take to certain disciplines. Anyway, but those are very, very good cash flow positive businesses.
Wasn't there a post on Stacker News where they're talking about cash flow positive businesses? I think
it was on Nostr.
It was on Nostr. I saw that, and they were like, "You should do these if you want to." No, I could have sworn I saw it.
Might have been
somebody.
On
it was just like a random. I don't know.
But there's so many good things that you can do that. Like if you want just a lifestyle business, there are a bunch of them.
I used to know a guy that had his own washateria, like in different, like he had one in San Antonio and then another one. And the dude would make bank. I was like, wow, just like, but it's in fiat though. That's the thing. It's just like it's not
the same.
Not the same.
But Jimmy could change it. He could be the
I believe he will.
First national.
It was good. It was good seeing him back. It was awesome. It was an awesome night last night. Cool. That rounds out the top 5 stackers. Now we get into mine. I got 2 stories this week.
Stories.
I just want to touch on this one. This is from Amethyst version 0.66.0. Communities. This is from Arrow. 3 comments. 2004. Dude, look at this. Do you see like how much Amethyst
in here?
How Amethyst has built all this stuff out?
I'm sad because I can't use Amethyst.
Neither can I.
On iOS.
Soon, TM. But like, dude, this looks really good.
It's crazy. I mean, if you're following, I forget his name. Vitor. It's probably Vitor. Vitor on Nostr. The amount of shipping that happens. I mean, it's like it's not uncommon. It's equivalent to the shipping that we see from William. A lot of other people in the Nostr space, and it's just like thing after thing after thing. And this looks like a super app. This is like,
dude, this looks incredible, dude. I really want to just get an Android app just so I can play with this, or an Android phone just so I can play with this. Dude, it looks amazing. I was talking to some of the guys, and I was like, "Do you use Amethyst?" They're like, "Yeah, it's amazing." It's like, damn.
I mean, we know
it's taking off, dude.
We know Tony Giorgio forked it. We've covered that in a previous episode, and so those folks have high standards and are so clearly
this is cool, dude.
Yeah,
I love the live streaming stuff, the community stuff, the chat groups, and then it still does the regular thing. Yeah.
Have you tried out communities yet? I haven't tried it out.
Yeah, I haven't tried it out.
Everyone keeps pinging me about it, and I'm like, I haven't tried it yet. Like I keep hearing about it and announcements or people.
I think the coolest thing is I can't believe I got on Damus last year around this time, June, July, right? Because I had reached out to William and was talking to him about all this stuff. And I was like, dude, this is incredible. All this stuff. And to see where we are now, a year later, It's just like, what? Imagine where we're going to be from a year from now.
Oh, dude, can you?
A bull run.
It'll be incredible. I mean, I think it just keeps building, more and more builders.
Also, the Nostr, we do Nostr devs here in we're doing one on Saturday, and like even the video views are going up on that too. So it's just showing you that Nostr is really taking off. The other top post I wanted to share was Zapple Pay. This is from Arrow, another Arrow post. 8 comments, 13,000 sats. I set this up this morning. Dude, Ben Carmen made this. I think Paul.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, he made this, and then so can you click on the thing, Keyan? Look at that, dude. It's like the best thing in the world. It's called.
I mean, it's silly, but
it's so good, dude. You basically just hook up your InPub. You pick the trigger emoji. You put the zap amount, and then there's an NWC connection string, which Albie also in the comments. I think it was Rosenens. He posted the note that you need, and from there, once you click on that note, it basically shows you how to get all that set up with Albie and stuff like that. It's freaking unbelievable. I went and posted a couple with just the just one of these, and it zapped them.
Yeah. So if people don't know, Damus got removed from the App Store because it allowed Apple's iOS App Store because it allowed you to zap directly on pieces of content. And so this is basically a workaround, which is one of the advantages to having a protocol like this is there's really no stopping people from doing all kinds of weird stuff that you just don't know is happening because this is communicating to another service, communicating to another service, and it's like
game over, bro.
When is Apple going
game
to?
Over? Yeah, so game over.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the reaction to this kind of stuff isn't even being more aggressive and being like, well, Nostr isn't allowed now because you guys aren't like the protocol itself is disrespecting us or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah, dude, I don't even know. Like, why would you go back? There's no going back. There's just like, there's the fiat centralized platforms, and then there's everything that's free. And I want to live free, baby.
You should live free. I think
I want to zap free. I don't need Tim Cook telling me what to do. I'm sorry. I love your products, Tim, but they're just too constrained right now.
Yeah, we'll see how that unfolds. But
yeah, we were talking about this, dude. I think we get to a point. Do you think we ever get to a point where we have a phone, we just sign in with our Nostr profile, loads everything we want there?
I think it makes sense. I think we'll have. I don't see why not. I think there is. The main thing is like I don't have any normal people yet that I know that use that are capable of using a key pair identity.
Yeah,
and so
that's true.
So that's like the biggest thing. But like if that ever happens, I think there's no stopping a decentralized social network that is structured like Nostr from just being the thing, being it.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be lots of them. I don't know. But
it's really cool.
It is
really cool.
It's an amazing future.
Yeah. Thank you to Ben for making this, dude. I was literally considering like, man, maybe I just need a switch, but this makes me hold out a little longer. Thank you, Ben, for making this.
I didn't know it was his. I was like,
oh yeah, he made it.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, what is this thing? It just says Zapple Bay at the top and the text gets weird on me.
Yeah.
I don't love it. To be honest.
I think it's hilarious. Anyway, that's my top 2 stories of the week. Keyan, what do you got?
Okay, cool. So just 2 metas. Exius, I said, I think last episode or maybe the time before that he was working on PWA, push notification. So if you install Stacker News as a PWA now on your phone or on your desktop, or even if you're just using it in the browser on your desktop, you can get push notifications, which are pretty awesome. I've been using them. And you do have to have an updated iOS device if you're on iOS, and you have to have an updated Safari if you're on Mac OS, and an updated Mac OS. But it
cool. Also works on desktop too. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep, it does work on desktop. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty cool. Gives you more like app-like behavior from just a web app, and that's pretty.
Also, did you notice? So on July 4th, you changed the thing to fireworks.
Oh, right.
Did you see
I forgot
that?
about
that. Did you know? I knew. No, obviously, you know that you did that, but that was a nice touch, Keyan.
It was cute. I think we were discussing for a while. I think Kevin had the idea of making the lightning bolt change color. And then him and I were talking one morning, and I think we both had the same idea at the same time, that we should just change the animation to a firework.
That was cool. Yeah, that was a nice touch on that day.
Yeah.
My only complaint was I had to keep pushing it to get more.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we got to spend money. It was, I guess it was, Kevin said it by number of zaps. It was like the most zapped day since like February or something.
So you think you'll change some other ones?
Well, I don't want to share too many details, but you know how a lot of websites have a
animation.
They'll change their logo on holidays. Yeah. We might have our own version of that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick.
Yeah. Pretty neat.
What else you got? Was that it?
The other meta was I released the new algorithm I talked about last week.
Yeah. So Super just barged in saying that. So I didn't really read this, but what's going on?
Yeah. So I totally reworked the algorithm. I spent about a week on it. The algorithm is like probably one of the more researched and iterated on important parts of the site. And for a week or so, I was reworking it, running experiments with the new algorithm. And I settled on the algorithm that I shipped here in this release. And basically what it allows us, it's much better than the last algorithm. It aims to do a very similar thing, but many more stackers have trust now is one consequence. A lot of them have very little trust, but before they would have zero. And so before we only had like 730 stackers who had more than zero trust, because it's very hard to actually earn trust. This new algorithm distributes trust way more evenly and thinly to that long tail lower group. Mm-hmm. And so what you get, we actually have, I think it's something like 2,500 stackers now have non-zero trust, which means there'll be more people participating in everything on the site that requires trust, which is good. And just in general, it's more accurate. So like the results are more of what you'd expect, given behavior.
And so this is going to adjust the top posts, I guess.
Adjust the yes.
Maybe adjust is the wrong word, but
adjust is a fair word. I don't know what a better word is, but basically it has an impact on what trust says is how much influence you get over ranking. And so if you are more trusted, you get to affect rank more. And if you are less trusted, you affect rank less. If you spend more money, assuming you have non-zero trust, you affect rank more. If you spend less money, it's so on and so on. Anyway, the other consequence of this algorithm is that this algorithm yields personalized feeds. So every stacker has their own point of view. Like if I trust you 0.9, it allows Super to trust you 0.5. So in my feed, I'm more likely to see your upvote. Super is less likely because he trusts you less. And so this algorithm spits that out for each user. They have their own trust point of view for every other user.
Do we all see the same top 10?
Currently we see that it's 21 on the front page.
21, yeah.
Yeah, but currently everyone sees the top 21. And when we get personalized feeds, there will be some variation. It'll likely be that you were all seeing the same top 21, mostly for the most part, but they're ranked slightly differently, just skewed based on your own point of view. And so over time, that'll become really important, as in the case where there are more stackers, because that's why you need moderation on something like Reddit, is because everyone's sharing everything. And it's like sharing a bathroom with your roommate. It's like sharing a kitchen in a co-working space. Everyone wants to abuse it, and no one wants to take care of it. But with a personalized feed, it's like everyone gets their own bathroom. Everyone gets their own kitchen. They can abuse it, but they have to clean up when they abuse it. And so that's kind of the benefit this approach to algorithms. And I think it'll really help solve some of the problems that other platforms solve through moderation.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Should be interesting. What did the stackers say? I didn't do this.
There's some. I think most of the people talked about the reward changes, as we didn't discuss. But basically, the thing with the rewards now, like currently with the rewards, we give to top posts, top comments, and top zappers. Now rewards only give to top zappers. Little experiment we're doing, seeing if it encourages people to zap more, and gets the circular economy maybe running a little more efficiently. But like the most thoughtful or comment here, the longest one at least, was Mudblood Von Fry, which is a fun name. I bet that's probably like a book character. But he says he's concerned that it'll disincentivize post creation and commenting, and I think that's a fairly. I think that's a common thing that people misunderstand is the fact that we're not rewarding people with our revenue from when they post isn't a disincentive to post. We're just incentivizing another behavior more. A behavior more that we think the second order consequence of is that people are zapping posts and comments more. So I don't know if he misunderstood or didn't follow, but he was basically just concerned that it had changed the incentives of the site in a way that doesn't serve him well. And
I think the biggest thing for me, and I think just goes with any project, is like, what's the end goal? Like, if you have the end goal in mind, then you can kind of see where. I mean, you can see the path clearly in front of you, and I'm sure you have that, right? I know PlebLab has that. Like, what's the end goal? Where do you want to be? How do you get there? And taking the necessary steps to get there, whether it takes a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but it's there. There's a path there. I'm interested to see how this kind of plays out. I don't have any opinion on it yet because it's still, I know when you do these things, you adjust on the fly, and I know you've been thinking a lot. You've been working really hard lately. So I know how hard you've been working on this. So I can't wait to see how it all plays out and kind of go from there. But yeah, I mean, dude, people love Stacker News, man.
Yeah,
Stacker News,
I like it.
I like
it's
it a
fun.
lot.
There was someone who chimed in today, and he was like, he had some really good thoughts on like content linking and like referencing in the site. And like making that better. I don't know if you've used some of these note apps where they build like a graph where it's linking all of your notes together.
Okay.
But there's like a lot of people who are really interested in this type of document linking. And like the web is a document of links. And so there are a lot of people like, why don't we see that more on everyday websites where it's very rich linking between everything on the website and every.
Do you remember? Okay, we're going to get a little meta here.
Yeah.
Do you remember Dig? Dig had that.
Did it?
Yeah, it was called, I think I've showed you this before, but they had this area of their site that was just very experimental, and it would allow you to see some of the Dig posts in just different ways. Or it was called Swarm, I think was one of them. So maybe that's what he's referring. I don't know if that's the same thing or not, but it's kind of weird how like we're repeating the same step, or maybe we're not repeating, obviously, but like there's like the same.
Yeah, no, if you go back, so one of the, why this guy's comment to me resonated with me is Max Webster told me about a book. I think it's called the Xandu Project, which is like a predecessor to the World Wide Web. So there's a whole, there's a whole,
putting that on my thing,
but there were a bunch of people who were fascinated with the idea of things being linked together and being able to navigate, arbitrarily through all the things with these links. And that's basically what made the web. The web is a web of links. And so these ideas led to the web. And there are a lot of those ideas that were mostly just dreamed up during that period of time before these things actually existed, all those ideas never got explored. Like they were,
they left dormant.
Yeah. They weren't ever pursued fully. Everything that was implemented well enough. They didn't see reason to do all of the things.
It's kind of like what we didn't cover it on here. I'm not sure if it's shared on Stacker News, but like Lightning Labs released that 402, and that's a protocol thing, right? That was just payment gateway, I guess.
Yeah,
that was dormant, and then they enabled it.
Yeah, there's so many great ideas we had early that we still haven't fleshed them out. So
we got some people in the comments. I got the Last Spartan said, "Hey y'all, finally caught on SNL," and then Philippe. He says, finally caught SNL live. I'm the developer of the Stacker News for Android app. Wow. There you go, Keyan.
Hey, Philippe.
Because he wrote it in Flutter. Love what you guys are building. Keep up the good work and God bless you. Wow. Thanks, Philippe. I got Fireworks. He says, can you talk about the one Feeks post? I don't know what that is.
Oh, there's someone.
Did it make the top 5?
I don't think it made the top 5, but someone like taunted us with like one Feeks is going to move.
Is that a shitcoin?
No, one Feeks is a Bitcoin address. That's associated with the Mt. Gox hack.
Oh, okay.
That holds something like, what does it hold? It holds $2.5 billion in it.
It moved?
No, this guy is basically, it's going to move, watch, is basically what he posted. And that was his post. And
don't post that. They're going to come after you, man.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was going to
hear that knock on your door. You're going to be like, who is this? It's just going to be a 3-letter agency just pummel you to the ground with an AK. So would not do that.
I actually misunderstood the post and thought that it was I thought it was actually, there was actually spending already happening from it. And then Tony responded, he's like, no, there's no spending. I'm like, oh crap. I didn't get much sleep. So, but who knows what's going to happen there?
Who knows? Yeah.
Could just be fun.
Maybe you'll make a top 5 next week. Interesting.
We'll see.
Cool. And then, do you want to go through the,
we could go really quickly, briefly.
Super
stat segment. Elvis Mercury at the top. Oh no, this is for the day. Let's see. Siggy, of course. Arrow, Energy Currency, Cody, Zach Herbert, lots of folks earning lots of sats.
Ben Carmen, look at that.
Look at that. Ben Carmen, big spender. Orthworm. Have you seen Orthworm? He posts in the daily discussion every day.
Yeah, sometimes I watch him.
Worm to 100K, pretty fun.
There was some guy in the daily discussion. I don't know if it was a daily discussion. Was asking about Darth Coin. You see that? They were like, where's Darth Coin?
Where is he?
He'll come back.
He will. So we got Siggy as the top cowboy now. Dude.
What?
Killing it.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Well deserved, Siggy.
We've had quite a few people drop out, it looks like. I've moved up to the top 5.
I keep getting a cowboy hat now. Now I get cowboy hats, then I lose them after 2 days.
Well,
let me just buy one.
Giddy up. You won't
dystopian trail.
Giddy up. Giddy up.
We got some zaps here on Fountain. This is from Peace. He said, the signal is strong. This is the way. That was on SNL 74 Moo. And then we have him. He also said, plebs make the world go around. And then we have Blockchain Boog. So Blockchain Boog left a YouTube video. He goes, I'm just going to leave this here. And so I'll play this for you now. The video is inappropriate, so I won't show that. But
I see it. It's like
he wanted me to see that. I don't know.
Well, you guys have a special relationship after you chose him to go on the arc with you.
No, that was Darth Coin.
Oh, he chose you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you chose him.
Who remembers?
I do. You chose him. You chose him to be
what was I gonna
your
say?
soulmate.
What are you doing this weekend, Keyan?
What am I doing? Crap, is there anything going on? My cat is missing. We haven't.
Shut up.
Yeah, since Monday. Yeah, so we have.
The lady?
Yeah.
Your neighbors?
I mean, we don't think. No, we've talked to the lady.
Zackers. For you at home. We're going to solve this mystery cat. I'm telling you right now. Keyan came in about 2 weeks ago, was complaining about his cat's like leaving. Dude, that lady stole your cat.
She's right down the block, and our cat would be like outdoors most of the time. So she didn't steal it. I mean, she might have stolen it and like eaten it, but like,
no, not eating it.
Yeah.
She has your cat. Knock on that door. Get your cat back.
no, I think my wife already went and talked to her and has asked the neighbors and stuff. So I don't,
She declined. She doesn't have the cat.
she declined. She had the cat. We talked to a bunch of other neighbors who are familiar with the cat because the cat's very friendly, but someone else might have picked her up, or she could have gotten eaten by a coyote.
What?
Or, I mean, we live in an area
That's
of
a
town.
big cat, dude.
I mean, she's not that.
She's pretty huge.
She's big. She's fast.
like this big, Stackers.
She's like 13 pounds, I think. A little chunky, but
Oh man, I'm so sad now.
yeah, it's pretty sad. But
I love that cat.
yeah, she's so nice. But
So you're gonna go try to find your cat? Or are you gonna put out a sign?
I mean, that's what came to mind first when you asked me what I'm gonna do this weekend.
you don't seem concerned at all. Like,
I mean, what can I do? I don't.
you've had that cat for like 10 years, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had it for a long time.
What?
Since like college. So
What?
I know.
You can't just give up on your friend like that.
I know. But
Give me a picture.
I'm not giving up.
I'll make a sign.
I'll
Make a sign. We'll post it around. We'll find the cat.
I'll post it up around my office here in PlebLab.
We'll walk around here. We'll post it.
Yeah, no.
Oh man, that's so sad.
It is sad. So I might do something with like that. What are you doing this weekend, Car?
Doing Nostr devs tomorrow. Going to church and living the pleb life. That's what I'm doing.
Heck yeah.
Plans.
Plans.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? All right, Stackers. Y'all have a great weekend. Keyan.
Zap.